Hello and welcome back. This is Glen again, Coding with Glen, and we are here to improve from where we left off. And remembering that we left off from the sweeping and height, we were dealing with the image view here, and we actually saw that the image was very tiny up there at the top. And there's one thing to note, not that the image view is placed at the top of this view so that they're linearly organized, but the view we mentioned that we needed as match parent and as match width. This would actually have an effect if we were dealing with something like a real image. But for now, let me show you what happens with this one, and we'll take care of the real image thing in the later tutorial. So for now, we need to go back there and actually change these into an actual size we can determine by ourselves. Because if you say match parent with these image views, when we're dealing with icons, they often seem to not react to how large your image view is. They will not fill the entire image view but stick to their original size that was determined. In our case, it was 24 dp by 24 dp. But to change this thing, there is an option you have here to just go in here on the width and mention. Maybe we need it as let's make it 90 dp so that we can see the actual change, and we'll also make the height 90 dp. 90 dp, that is the dependence pixels, and you can check on the view and you can see it's nicely coming out, and we can see actually the icon there coming out nicely, and they are somewhat put in a linear manner. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is how to actually make these things come out perfectly, dealing with these linear layouts, how you can manage vertical and horizontal orientations. So as you can see right now, there's going to be a sharing here. Let's see what happens if you cut off this image view and place it here in the outer view and click on design. Now you see what is happening. The image view is now at another end and the two text views are at the other end. So what is happening here is that, let me show you in code. We have this outer linear layout, and this outer linear layout is now containing both the image view and the inner layout that have the two text views. So what it's gonna be doing, it's gonna lay out these two, the image view and the linear layout, in a horizontal manner as we mentioned here. Just for your confirmation, see what happens when you click here and mention vertical and go to the design. You're back again in the linear format, but you should be careful about this and determine what you want to see. So linear layouts can be good when you are dealing with creation of items, making them look and be put in certain positions that you yourself want. So that is coming out nicely, but one thing to note now, we now need to decrease our text, and of course, believe me, if you might not see this clearly, you just believe the concept that I'm teaching here. So we're going to change these to 20 SP the text, so that everything can be just output in a good manner, a manner that is representable. We're just going to change these to 70 dp, and as we look now, it is aligned perfectly and neatly and nicely. So I forgot to mention one thing that you may find quite needing for you in your projects. There is this thing about gravity, how you can lay your elements within a linear layout. So if you go onto the and click gravity, this is going to be layout gravity. How you're going to lay out your gravity. This comes in maybe a center, horizontal, and somewhat many things. Let's see what happens. So these are the options we have, and in our layout, it's gonna lay out this whole entire layout in a horizontal manner or at the end or something. But for now, we are not needing to lay out these things like that. So the elements will be, all right, let's just do it center, horizontal, and let's see what happens. And what happens is that our text is very little and not accumulating any high position. So, and moreover, this is the layout. It's just pushed on the second side of the image. So we're gonna see not much of a change. But let's do something like let's just leave it as center gravity for our views here. So we're gonna set the gravity for our very own layouts views here. So we're gonna say here center. And when you say center, it's gonna try, and we're just gonna copy these again just to make it quicker for me, and press enter there. And this, what it does is nothing as so forth, because we changed the gravity of the text, not the layout gravity. Forgive me for that. And so we're gonna place layout at the start here, and see what happens. And bam, within our layout you can see that Glen is now in the middle and Jerez is not. That's because there is some error, I think, I perceive. Yes, we put a column there, and as you can go and see, now these tools are laid out in a manner that they are at the center. And of course you can change to layout at the end, center, horizontal, depending on the context here of what you need. So you can press enter on many things here. So you're just gonna do a control space bar to see all the options we have. We have so many options, and you can hover around this. You can lay out at the start, you can lay out at the top, at the end. Right or left is just the same little thing of start or end, you know, in some versions of Android. So you're just going to be careful of what Android version you are targeting. So this is much of it and how you can lay your elements. But for now, we're just going to leave ours at start. For now, we just want them to be at the start. We do not want anything to be at the center. As you can see, the back of the center there. So now that we have an idea of how to hover around the linear layout, we know the different dimensions of the linear layout. I'm just going to show you how you could, by chance, add an image view, an extra thing here, an actual image into your text. So what we're going to do is, let's hover down, depending on your machine, you know, and of course this is mine. So I'm going to just look for an image, and let's see, plan banner here. Let's place this one actually. Logo. Oh, what did I do? I clicked open instead of copying the thing. Sorry about that. So we're just gonna copy this and go back to Android Studio, and guess what we're gonna put it? The drawable, because this is where your images and raw files are stored for now, image raw files. So we're just gonna click Percy, and just mention for you, where do you want to place this? Just click on drawable here and click OK. It's gonna be a logo. That's it. And as you can see in our drawable hierarchy, we now have the logo down here, and as you can see, it's now loaded up. So what you need to do now is go back here, remove the IC account, and just put in the logo. Oh, sorry. And when you put in the logo, did we mention it as logo? Let's just see. Sorry about that. We can say a drawable logo, and for some reason it's not inferring my drawable. And what could be the problem here? The problem is what we'll see in the next tutorial, of course. Hold on to me and we will see what we can do to fix this. And in fact, let's just not fix it in the next tutorial. Let's just show you a cool thing that you could do. So we're gonna say src combat here equals to here, and we're gonna say logo. And it must be something wrong with our layout actually for it not to logo. So when you are dealing with these things, you do not need to mention .png or something there. You just have to mention the first part of the name of the logo, and as you can see, we might see, of course, nothing there because it's not inferring it to what that is. What is that logo? Maybe because depending on the type of file we have. So let's see what happens when we choose a whole different file that may have a very good format within it. So this thing must be actually dependent upon format, you know, that is built within the thing. So you're just gonna click there and click OK. But if you're using another version of a picture, it might have worked for you perfectly. So mine is not working because of these things. So we're just gonna put in here symbol, and of course it should work now. It should work. Maybe it needs a refresh or something. Let's go back to logo now. And now if we click there, I see nothing. I see nothing. Do you see anything on your side? It seems to be inferring, but it's not giving us. Let's try src, and now it should work. And you can see our logo is there. So we have been having problems. And you're all like thinking to me, is this man actually knowing what he's doing or what? The logo is not coming out. But of course, at your end, it might have come out. But these are certain things that you need to be aware of. Maybe Android Studio had not inferred actually the images that you have inputted. It was still analyzing and grabbing all information about the image. So it is a good thing to try around and work around things. So the two options you can use is either use the app src combat I showed you, but mostly we use the src one. So the image was not the problem here, the format was good and the image bodies was just because Android Studio was still inferring what this thing is. So we're just gonna delete this one, this symbol. We don't keep unnecessary things. So in our next tutorial, we'll show you many other cool stuff you can do. So please join me and I'll take you through to the greater level, and thank you again.